So these videos are truly so powerful. I really do love like hope videos like this. Just to tie it to business real quick before I get started. As you said in the description, as Mr. King said, I think that it's so important that you have to have a positive mindset in what you do, and that reflects in everything that you do. So if you have a positive and kind mindset in business, that's going to come back to you. You know, you're going to first of all have more motivation running your business, and when things get hard, you're going to have more of a push to not give up. And also with just like kindness and love in general, people are attracted to people who are kind and loving. They just are, because they're amazing to be around, and having those qualities in business is so helpful to be a liked person and to continue to keep business flowing in. Just like the guy who made Chick-fil-A, the mindset that he had kept his customers and his workers loyal to him, and I think that's so important. There's people coming down the hallway. But anyway, one of the biggest points that he made was, I loved whenever he said, it's not the end until you've given up. You know, there's hope until you give up. And I just think that is so true. We are so much in charge of our own lives, and sometimes we like to think, a great example that I always think about is, I'm not sure where I saw this, but it's like, you have a choice in everything you do. So when we wake up and we're like, oh, I have to go to school today, then, you know, you're taking away that aspect of choice. There's always comfort in the fact that you don't have to do things. You're choosing to do things. And moreover, you're privileged to be able to go to school and do these things. When you switch your perspective and you switch the way that you're looking at things, just like he did, I mean, he could have looked at his life and been like, I was born with no limbs. I mean, I was born with such a disadvantage over all these people, but instead he didn't let that affect him, and he continued to just find his own path and his own purpose through Jesus. And I think that's just such an amazing story. Also, I really appreciated his mention of you are who you are around, because I think that's so true. Who you surround yourself with and who your friends are so much of your personality, because you become who you are around. So especially whenever you're kind of hanging around people who are negative, that reflects in your own mindset, and suddenly you catch yourself thinking and saying these things that you would never normally do or think. So I think that's really important whenever you're just approaching life, especially in high school and even into college. I'm assuming that who you're around dictates so much of what you do. And honestly, the people I have put myself around all of high school, I've been so fortunate to find a friend group who's not interested in these things that would take us off of our paths. There's people in the hallway. But I've been so fortunate to find people who are not distracted by all of these things, especially that people like to do in high school, which is really great, and that helps me to stay on track. So I would definitely recommend being careful who you put yourself around. And then also, hate and gossip is another thing he mentioned, and I think especially in high school that is so prevalent. And I know it's hard to not, sometimes you find yourself gossiping, again, based on the people that you're around, but I think it's just important to stay positive and to try to be kind to everyone. And that also helps you, like I said, in business. Being kind to everyone is always good, and to have that kind of reputation of being a kind and motivated and happy person who's grateful for their life instead of always complaining and being negative, I think that's such a good reputation to have, and carrying that into business can give you an advantage over people. So I think that overall it's about refocusing our mindsets and making sure that we are staying in a positive and happy place.